Hello. Hello, my name is Alexander, and today I'm going to be presenting the effects of caffeine and what it does in our body. So, if you're like me a couple weeks ago, you probably had a lot of work at school, right? Yeah, I personally had 2 exams, 2 quizzes, and then 5 assignments all in the same week, right? And it's kind of hell to go through all that. And so, like me, you maybe drank caffeine, which is basically coffee, energy drinks, um, a lot of sports supplements like pre-workout contains caffeine, but I don't think we really know what that does to us, right? I mean, and the main point of this presentation is to teach the pros and cons, and then I'm also going to explain how it gets ingested and how it works in our brain chemistry. Um, so let's go to it. So how does caffeine enter our body, right? So caffeine is a stimulant, right? And it's consumed through the mouth, mostly, uh, and the effects take 30 to 45 minutes. Now, why does it take this long? Well, so it first gets into your bloodstream whenever you drink it through your oral cavity, right? It's sometimes or not. Some of it leaks through small cavities in your mouth, and then the rest of it, majority, almost all of it, it goes through your stomach. And once it goes through your stomach, it gets separated, right, chemically, uh, through to the hydrochloric acid, which makes it easier for caffeine to be, or more or less to enter our bloodstream, right? So when it goes to our small intestines, it gets absorbed through our blood vessels, and our blood vessels distribute it throughout our body, right? And it has its physical effects, and then it also has its mental effects, right? Now, once it enters our brain, that's where the real effects happen. So let's talk about how it works in our brain, the brain chemistry behind it. So, the brain chemistry. It's mostly famous for altering focusness and also what would you call it? Alertness, right? So basically, how it works is that when you drink caffeine, adenosine, right, which is a receptor, or not, yeah, a receptor, it is what produces tiredness, right? The feeling of being tired. And then you have dopamine, which is like your happy hormone, right? It's mostly known as a happy hormone. It increases your mood because it increases dopamine. And then you have, what do you call it? Adrenaline, which is your adrenaline, or hydromorphine, I think, which is your adrenaline. And that is what creates the performance behind it, right? Many people drink caffeine for the performance purposes of it, and we learned this through DeWalt in Everyday Psychology. It's important to know that caffeine varies because it's a stimulant. Too much of a stimulant can cause cons negative to your overall health, right? And we also learned this because of human biology, by matter. So, moving on. So, going over the pros and cons of caffeine, right? When you drink too much, over 400 milligrams, that is the recommended daily dose by the CDC. And also mentioned by the Cleveland Clinic, which is a big organization that informs about caffeine, right? And many other substances. But we're focused on caffeine. So, so I talked about a performance enhancement, right? Well, the cons of that is that it increases your heart rate, right? In order to get that performance increase, your heart rate goes boom, 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 right? And that makes your blood vessels expand, and that increases blood pressure, which may cause hypotension. Really big issue with older folks. So, gotta keep that in mind. Also, caffeine, it has a half-life of 6 hours. So when you take it before bed, you may have sleep deprivation because your sleep is being deprived because adenosine, which is your tired hormone that also helps you sleep, is being blocked, right? So you may not even be able to sleep. Well, you can, it's gonna be hard. And then another one, anxiety and jitteriness, which comes from high doses. Your body's being overstimulated by the caffeine. You may gain anxiety. That's a really common factor, which is why many people may not be able to drink it. They don't have any tolerance. So each dose has its own tolerance for everybody. No one has the same tolerance. A can of Red Bull may have 80 milligrams. That's enough for most people. So when people who work out, they may need 400 milligrams because they need the performance behind it. higher caffeine may increase performance. That's what we learned through heart rate. Heart rate, it delivers oxygen more faster because your heart is working more, your blood vessels are working more. And that's what's required for muscle to function. So that's another thing. And now let's conclude, right? And then, so we gone over how caffeine is ingested through our digestive system, right? It's a really important thing because without our digestive system, we might not even get the effects of this. We see how it alters our brain chemistry, how adenosine, dopamine, and epinephrine works, right? And then we also went through the benefits and the risk behind the caffeine. So we know that this is a neutral ground that can't be argued against because it's both good and bad, right? It's a neutral ground. So knowing all this, I would like you guys to know, for future reference, whenever you go to Starbucks, drink a coffee, that hopefully you may know what you're putting into your body and how you may utilize this to benefit out of it, but not over abuse it to where you may get harmed from it. Hopefully you learned the science behind it, and that's my presentation. Thank you for listening.